Hi. So as a teacher who's been back at in-person learning for the past week, I thought I would share with anyone who might find this useful some tips and tricks that have worked for me as a glasses wearer to get through the day with masks on, make it a little more comfortable and tolerable. So I have a tutorial for this cloth mask that I designed. It is based on the modified version of the surgical mask. You may have seen the tutorial going around the internet for how to take a regular surgical mask. You're going to fold it and tie these ear loops together in a knot and then tuck this part in. So basically, what happens is the inside looks like this, and it fits to your face a little better. You can eliminate the gap that often happens right here. And for me, I don't like to wear the ear loops around my ears because it puts pressure on my glasses and it's just uncomfortable. So I have sewed buttons onto this headband. You could also put it onto another hat of some kind. But when I wear the surgical mask, let's see, get it right, turn to the right side. Then when I put it on, I put the ear loops over the buttons, and it fits really well to my face. I won't talk when I have it on, but you'll be able to see. So it sticks out a lot farther from my mouth, and it's not touching my mouth, so it makes it easier to talk. And there's just not a lot of gaps, so it feels like it protects me more than wearing it without modifying it. So this is what I have been wearing. But if we're really going to be in person all day, every day, I don't really want to have a disposable mask that I just throw away every single day of the school year. So I wanted to come up with a cloth mask that would be reusable. It is double layered, so it's got 2 layers of cotton fabric. And what I actually did last week when I decided I didn't want to keep wearing these, before I threw them away at the end of the day, I cut off the ear loops piece because these are actually really nice and thin and they fit on the buttons a little better. And I also just slit and cut out and took out the nose bridge piece, which is basically kind of like a big twist tie, but it works really well because I sew them now into these masks and I sew the ear loops on, and then I can reuse that part of those masks. And then these are totally washable, and then I can keep using them and make lots of cool patterns and colors. So stay tuned for this tutorial. You are going to need a sewing machine and basic sewing skills to be able to do this, make this mask. Okay, so step 1 is to select your fabric. You will need patterned fabric for the outside and then plain white cotton fabric for the inner layer. The measurements are 23 centimeters by 21. Now this part's important. So the 21 centimeters across, even though it's the smaller dimension, this is on the finished mask going to be the length that goes across your face. So if you have a pattern that you want to orient a certain way, like on this one I wanted these to be horizontal, you'll need to have the shorter side be the side that you want going across your face. Then the dimensions for the white cotton layer on the inside are 19 centimeters by 21. So it's just a bit smaller. It will fit nicely inside the outer layer. Okay, so the next step is to put your white inner layer on the wrong side of your patterned fabric, and then just fold over the edge, iron and pin in place on all 4 sides, and then you're going to just stitch all the way around using a color of thread that matches your patterned fabric. Okay, so I have all the stitching done around the outside, and the next thing I'm going to do is attach this little nose bridge metal piece. This is one of the ones I took out of the disposable masks. So this is going to be where the top of the mask is, where the nose goes. So you're going to basically put this, center it, and then you're going to fold this over with the little metal piece inside, pin it right in the center, right underneath where that is, and then iron this, but be very careful not to put the hot iron on the plastic for too long or it will melt this. You're going to also do the same thing on the bottom. You're going to fold this up just a small amount so that you can have a nice hem. We're only going to be doing like the finished hems on those 2. We're not going to hem this again by flipping it over one more time, or that will become too thick when we make the pleats. So just do the top and the bottom. Okay, so with the nose bridge and the bottom of the mask ironed and pinned in place, we're next going to do the pleats. So I'm going to flip this around, and it's honestly, I don't measure it, I just kind of eyeball about like 3 centimeters down from the top. I'm going to fold over about a 1 centimeter pleat, and unfortunately, because I'm filming this myself, I can't, and I'm holding my camera, I can't show you, so I'm going to have to do it, I'm going to do it 3 times
just like the one that I'm basing this off of. So you want it, so this is the top of the mask here. You want 1, 2, 3 pleats with just about the same amount on the top and the bottom. I actually have a little bit more space left on the bottom of mine, and I'm going to iron all 3 of those pleats in place before I do any more stitching. So I'll show you what that looks like once I have those done. So here we are, we've got these 3 pleats ironed into place. Once again, this is the top, this is where my nose bridge is, so I can flip it and actually turn it over this way. So this is what the front of the mask looks like. So this is modeled on the surgical mask. We are now going to stitch all the way around, right over the pleats, right across here, and then right up here. Now be very careful when you're stitching over the nose bridge. I have broken a couple needles already because I hit that metal part. So you want to go just below where the metal is, and you want to push that up so that it's literally as high up as you can get it so you don't run your needle into it. So once all the way around, and then we're just about done. All right, so we have it stitched all the way around the outside. This is what the outside looks like. Here's what the inside looks like. Because we have all these pleats, there's a lot of extra fabric where it really can expand, so when you're wearing it, it will be pretty comfortable and you won't have it touching your face all day long. So now we're ready to attach these ear loops or button loops. These are ones that I took off of an old used disposable mask, and we're going to attach them in between these two. So we're going to pull these together. It's really hard for me to do this one-handed, so I may have to set it up and then show you how we're going to sew it. But we're going to hand sew because it's a lot of layers and pretty detailed to try to do on the machine. And you may want to use a thimble because it can take a little bit of pressure to push the needle through all those layers. So I'm going to set it back up and show you. I might actually sew one to show you what it looks like and then set up this one and show you how to do that. Okay, so here's one side done. This is the nose bridge part. So as you can see, I decided to put that part on top and then this part goes underneath. And this is sewed right in between. So I'll show you on this side. So we're going to push this part forward. All the pleats are going to go on the inside, not the outside of the mask. And then you could either go this way or this way. And like I said, I want the nose bridge part. That part is going to be on the outside, so it's the same on both. This is where you're going to put the little knotted part. Put that right in between there. Hold it together, and then while you're stitching, I would go right through that just for extra security. I would go right through the little piece of elastic and then tie it off, and when you're done, that's what it'll look like. And these will just fold down. You could stitch them in place, but I have found that while I'm wearing it, these stay well enough and there's no air that can escape because it stays flush to your face. So I'm gonna sew this, hand stitch it, and then that's it, that's done.
Here it is, the finished mask with the ear loops or button loops attached. Here's the inside. Again, these things, you could sew them if you want. You could stitch them down, but I find that I don't need to. The fit is so good that they just sit nice and flush against my cheek, and there's not a lot of extra space. So I'll put it on and you'll be able to see how there's quite a bit of space up front, but there is a good seal all the way around my face, and that this fits really well. So if you do try this, I hope you have good luck with it. You can also change the sizing if you want. I really tried to keep mine about the same size as a standard surgical mask. I think mine's just a little bigger. The final dimensions, when it's flat like this, when I've sewed it, are 11 centimeters by 19, roughly. So you could play around with the sizes to make bigger or smaller ones if you need to, but good luck and stay safe.